Good evening, everyone.
Wow, back from the hiatus.
Back from the dead. FITZ KOEHLER, welcome.
Hi, I'm so happy to be with you guys. I've been looking forward to this for however long.
I am so psyched. Yeah, and
we're very excited.
It's fun that you're the one we get to open the 26th season with, basically, because it's just I feel like you're an energy kind of person, so this should be a good way to get shit rolling. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, I'm a very exciting girl, so I hope not to disappoint.
Yeah. So you know what's funny? I did not run any races that you were at, but I've run a lot of races, and it's funny. So like. And they're not as big, I guess. Maybe that's why it wasn't it. You know, I did Disney, but like Jeff Galloway was the announcer for that one, I think. And or maybe a guy, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It was like 2013. But like the races I do, like I've done a bunch of Ironman, but they've got their own guy. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just been a different circuit. And I was reading yours, and you actually did the OC marathon, I think it said, which is actually here in Maryland, right? Is that?
Ocean City?
Orange County, California.
Orange County. I thought you said Ocean City because there was an Ocean City, like it was either a marathon or an Olympic triathlon. I can't remember, but there was something, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, shit, she was right here. But I think it's fun that you have done that. That's like I kind of like geek out because I love that life, like that circle, like those events are. I mean, it's like drugs, man. You know.
Well, it's like the best group of people on planet Earth. You know, it's the healthy crowd, which I appreciate. That's where I spend, a large portion of my life trying to compel people to go out and get some exercise. And on race day, a race director says, "Hey, Fitz, we've got 27,000 people who want to exercise. Can you make sure they know what to do, know where to go, and have a great time?" And so I love making an event, an experience, but I love the people at the start line. I'm super excited to take care of them at the finish line. And, the running community isn't just made of runners. There's all the walkers, and there's all the silly people in the costumes, and then the heart-wrenching stories. And it's magical every time. I'm very blessed.
Running the Baltimore Marathon at mile 22, you go into this park that's like a really long like circle, and you can see the entire thing from every spot. It's a very big lake.
Was this at Montebello?
Yeah, Montebello, right?
Montebello, yeah.
It's like, now it's earlier, it's like 19 or something, right? And you get in there and you've just run the biggest hill of the entire race.
Rude.
And so now you come into this fucking hell trap where you could like, oh fuck, there's like a 2.5 mile like circle. And the whole time you could just see how far you have left to go. It's fucking diabolical, right? And so I'm like sitting there going, God damn it, this hurts, the other thing hurts. And this heart-wrenching thing is what got me gone. There's this guy kind of having a rough go of it. And Maryland is the last checkbox on a shirt that he's running 50 marathons in 50 states because he was diagnosed with ALS or MS or something. And I was like, what a story. Shut your mouth, Matt, and fucking run.
Shut your mouth and fucking run. And there's exactly like that all over every course in America. You want to start feeling sorry for yourself? There's some dude with no legs about to run by you.
Hopping a marathon and kicking your ass doing it. Right? Yeah, totally. And I fucking love that. Like, it's really just overwhelmingly humbling, right? Like, and I know that sounds kind of corny, but like in Ironman, like just in case anyone doesn't know, you can write, you get your age written in Sharpie on your calf, right? So everybody knows how old you are. And there's this like joke in the Ironman thing. The only people that pass you are usually 2 decades older than you. And now I'm almost 50. So that's not as true as it used to be. But dude, I would be going blasting, like arrow drop, like fucking just crushing it. And some dude would pass me like I was stopped, and I'd look at his calf and be like 68. I'm like, fuck. Like,
that's all they've ever done.
Okay.
And all they do is run.
Do you want to hear the most tragic, embarrassing? I'm not going to say embarrassing because I never am embarrassed while exercising, but I was at Disneyland in California many years ago. And I had a knee brace, and just the whole thing was bad. I had a bad day. I had the brace, the Velcro, like scratching my leg, and I was just dogging it. It was so bad. And I was at mile 12, and it was only half marathon. But some man dressed, I kid you not, as full-blown Chewbacca The whole thing, head to toe, fur.
Was he really tall, or was he just average height? Because it would be okay. It's got to be a convincing costume.
That dude, and it was hot, and he passed me by, and I was just son of a bitch, but I couldn't do anything about it.
Oh yeah, I've run Marine Corps a couple times, and that marathon's intense because now you get like wounded war vets that are doing it on like those bouncy leg prosthetic, the hook little things that bounce. One guy's with a fucking full rucksack, like in head to toe fatigues, running the fucking marathon. Jeez. Like I was like, holy fucking shit! Like this guy, like, you know, and it was just full gear. I'm like, dude, it's like he's in fucking Afghanistan. Like, and he ran that entire thing with that. I'm like, I cannot even imagine. Like, I'm in full latex, you know, like ready to rock and roll. I'm like, come on, give me my salt licks and my goos. And
wow, I tell you, it's humbling. It's incredible. And my great fortune is to be there at the finish line, to be the very first person with eyes on each athlete, and the very first person with the great luxury of telling everyone that I love them and pouring as much enthusiasm and affection over each of them. I love it.
How long do you got to sit there? How long does that field take to close?
It depends on the race, right? So a 5K will probably be done in 90 minutes, and a full marathon, you know, many races will say we have a cutoff of 6 hours.
Yeah.
Very few hold to that 6 hour cutoff. And that 6 hour cutoff starts after the last person has crossed the start line. So if it's a huge race, maybe it's 25 minutes of starts, and then you get the 6 hour time limit. But most races do not. And they say, okay, we have to open the roads, but you can move over to the sidewalks and just obey.
So people are like walking and taking a full.
Oh yeah. So I might yell go for the first time at 6 a.m. And so we would assume the cutoff would be at noon, but quite often it's 3:15. I'm still sitting there waiting for that one guy. And they told me he's at mile 23. And I wait.
Yeah.
We used to offer cryotherapy at the office, and after the Baltimore Marathon, people are like, "Oh, I'll just come over after the race." I'm like, "You're not getting across town. Like you just aren't. Oh, it's 3 hours after. Yeah, you're still not getting here. No, why? Because it won't be open until tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So how'd you get into this, man? Like, I mean, it's a unique position, and it's a very cool thing that you do, but like, you know, we don't come out of the gate like that. How'd you get here?
Yeah, so I'm a fitness expert, most importantly, and I've been teaching around the world on massive stages for massive organizations my whole career. That's what I do. And then I do I'm media as well. And so it was, I'd say about 2011-ish, Disney started hiring me on the regular to speak and present to their members, and then eventually to speak to their Run Disney audience. And so I was virtually their Run Disney fitness expert. So when they had an expo, they would have speakers like Jeff Galloway would speak, and many others. They would bring me in.
You're saying the years. I'm like, shit, Jeff Galloway would have been right around the same time. Like that's when I ran that.
Right. So I would show up on the stage and I would teach, I would give presentations like strength training for runners, pain prevention management for runners, as a sport performance expert. And so their race announcer, which is Rudy Novotny, which I have zero doubt, that's the big voice, the big charisma, the big love you felt when you ran in 2013. Rudy was their race announcer. He also was tasked with introducing presenters at the expo. And so he would introduce me to the audience, and then he'd sit there and listen. And then every time I got off the stage, he would say, "Wow, you're so energetic, you're so engaging, you're our best speaker, blah, blah, blah," which was very sweet. And then eventually, I don't know, it took a few presentations, but he says, "God, I need a co-announcer for the OC, Orange County, California Marathon in a few months. Would you be interested in co-announcing with me?" And I said, "Well, I've never done it before, but I see what you do. Looks like a lot of fun. If you show me the ropes, I'd love to give it a go." So he connected with that race director and owner, Gary Kutcher, who thankfully gave me my first shot at this, and it fit like a glove. I mean, I've never been more comfortable than
I love it.
Standing alone on a stage with 20,000 runners, and whipped them into a frenzy. I mean, we had chaotic fun. It was a dance party. Everybody was jumping and cheering. It was wild. And thank goodness, about an hour after I yelled go for the first time on marathon morning, Gary came over and said, "Could you come back next year?"
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's great.
And then I got more and more and more jobs. I mean, last year I announced about 30 something races all around America.
That's crazy.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so much fun.
Gig.
I mean, I think it's certainly way different, obviously, but I think one of the cool things about this gig that we got going here is that we get to have fun doing stuff like this. And I think prior to doing something in that space, you're like, I don't imagine that I could do something that would be that fun.
Right.
And still be able to be, something I can do and sustain, right? Like,
it's jet fuel for me. And some people have a fear of public speaking. I have the fear of somebody never inviting me to do public speaking again. And I am most comfortable and I am most happy when it's me versus 10,000, 20,000. The bigger the group, the happier I am, the more fun I'm having, hopefully the more fun they're having too. It's just it's a real good match for me. Who even knew this was a career, right?
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have this a career day.
Yeah, the great.
I feel like we've said that to so many guests we've had on. Like, they follow and you're living that. And I think we're going to get into some like heavier stuff in a little, but to be able to have that arc, to do something that wasn't I always quote the song Little Boxes, doctor, lawyer, business executive. It's all these careers that are out there that are just like, no one told me you could do that.
Right. I used to say that I was never going to be appropriate for a career where there was an application. Like if an application existed for that job, it wasn't going to suit me, so I had to build my own business. I had to do my own thing. Yet right now, I mean, people hire me. I'm never filling out an application, but I don't know. I've said yes. That's the thing. If something sounds fun, if it sounds rewarding, I say yes. Too many people say, no, I've never done that before, or they operate out of fear, and I operate out of enthusiasm for the next opportunity, right? Let's figure it out. Let's give it a try, right?
Yeah. And I think in this world, it's like kind of important too, because like the shifting things around seems to be the thing. Everyone needs to be gamified in order to like do anything anymore. So it's like keeping it fresh and finding a new way to reach people or get a message out there is like kind of like part of like a required like survival mechanism now. It's not even like a luxury, right?
I agree. And what's really been really fun for me is to kind of reinvent the role of a race announcer. I mean, you've probably been to races where some guy is sitting there at a table and he's looking at a script and he's reading words and he's saying, bib 1, 2, 3, 4, good job. Who the hell knows what their bib number is, So I'm almost completely unscripted. I get bullets, but anything that comes out of my mouth is because I, generated it. And we dance, we jump, I get in the crowds. I don't believe I have any strangers out on a course. And so there's so many times I'll be standing in the middle of the finish line. My race directors know they have to give me microphones with incredible range so I can run around. I stay out of the way of the speedsters, but once the middle of the pack, if people look welcoming, I grab them by the hand, I run them through the finish line. It's a full blown escort with the hoopla and, any way I can make it more fun, more meaningful. And I catch a lot of runners too. That's a way to keep people from hitting the ground, is just to be out there. So I don't know. It's become more and more fun every day, every time I do it.
Wow. No, that's awesome. I mean, and so like in general, when you're not race announcing, I mean, listen, that's fun. I could literally talk to you about that forever. Like it's like, and honestly, man, the last thing I'll say on this, on my side is like, COVID really screwed up that world. I know with a lot of people. And like, for me, how that affected me is I just stopped doing races. So I did like 6 virtual marathons in COVID. Like, that's crazy. Like, who the fuck does a virtual marathon? It's like missing all the good parts of a marathon.
100% of them. Yeah.
Like the only thing you get to keep is the shitty part. The fact you got to run 26.2 miles. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I did it because it was like habit, but I didn't have the fire to do an event. And I know I could have, I lied. One of those was actually the Marine Corps, but that was a makeup from 2020 where it didn't happen. And like, so I kind of half-assed that when it was raining, whatever. My point is like, it's just like, I haven't done an Ironman since, I haven't done a marathon since. And like, I'm lucky if I go on a run anymore. I know, I'm trying. I gotta.
Come to one of my races.
This is the universe's way of saying, go out and do a race. You talk to a race instructor.
do one of my races and I will re-inspire you for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, you're don't ask questions you don't want. I mean, I might, don't make those kind of offers. I mean, I might find you out on a race course somewhere, because I am looking to get back into it. And I feel like this might be one of those things where the universe is like, I'm hitting you over the head with an opportunity to do that.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. But prior to that, let's talk a little bit about that. What's I don't know, wherever you want to start. Kind of
we can jump around here too.
Yeah.
I boss people around. I make happy noise. You know, fitness is the thing that I do. I've been blessed to teach in like 17 different countries, TV, radio, a lot of corporate speaking. That's actually, you know, race announcing is fun. I get to make the experience wonderful and hopefully encourage people to return. But when I'm doing keynotes, I actually get to take quality content and transfer it into your mind. You know, you leave there and more informed and inspired and hopefully compelled to do better and be better. So I love that. I don't know. I honestly feel like a one-trick pony. No matter, even though I do a variety of things, it's all to get people moving, and I blah blah blah. Oh, and I write books. God, that's what I do. I write freaking books.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I wish I would stop.
Why?
So you just had one come out like a couple months ago, right?
Sure did. Yeah, book number 5. This one is the masterpiece.
Okay.
Is it our
your magnum opus?
Is it the opus?
It is called You Supercharged, the exact formula for fitness, weight loss, and longevity. It's 400 plus pages, 300 plus photos. It's everything to demystify the real nuts and bolts of lasting fitness. And, you know, I will change and upgrade everybody on planet Earth if they'll spend the time reading it.
So what do you think made this the sort of granddaddy of them all? That's a big lift.
It's the one you put the most into.
Yeah, is a big lift. I mean, there's a lot happening.
Yeah. So book number 1 was, it was on command. You know, a publisher reached out, said, would you write this cookbook for us? And I said, yes. It was the Everything Flat Belly cookbook for the Everything series. So that was on command, and they paid me heavily, which was great. And then the next few books came when I had cancer. There was a memoir, because when you combine cancer and race announcing, the stories were crazy. So that had to be written. And then the next 2 books were written as a fitness expert and a person who has the experience with the treatment triathlon, right? Chemo, radiation, surgery.
Sure.
So I could help other cancer patients go from sick to strong. And so they just had to be kind of timely. And this book, a fitness book for the masses, was always on my to-do list. And shame on me for not doing it sooner, but I also am so grateful I waited till now, because I feel like I've evolved fully as a fitness expert and a communicator, and I was able to do it to as close to perfection as one could. I'm just so proud of this one. It's magnificent. Yay me.
I love that. You know, like there's this whole like vibe in martial arts. Tom and I are like lifelong martial arts people, that you never like learn everything, right? And I think that's totally true in life in general. But I do think there is a point where you reach a level of mastery where it's time to just tell everyone else the secrets.
Yeah, you know, that term sensei is one who came before. It's not it's not referring to somebody that knows it all. I've been here.
Yeah. And I love that you're doing that now, because you're like, dude, I got all the ducks in a row. I've checked all the boxes for now. I'll learn more later on, but for now, let's get this out.
Yeah. And it's already, I mean, I have people who read it it was the December 1st. And then halfway through December, someone reached out and said, I've lost 5 pounds already. And the next person said, I've lost 10. And so it was just, it's instant.
So they read it and have already lost weight on it. And it's 2 weeks later.
It's that good. They just, it's 400 and something pages, Matt. It's heavy.
Yeah.
You got to lift it a lot.
Yeah, it's
a secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
She printed it on lead pages.
Well, you know, it makes me happy that it was so easily absorbed. And then they said, okay, I can put this into action. And you know what? There's 0 diets, there's zero snake oil, there's no malarkey. It's just the truth. And most people, they read it and then they start shaking their head and they say, oh my God, I can't believe it's as simple. You know, I can't believe my whole life I thought this fitness and this weight management or weight loss thing was so complicated. And now I didn't know it was so simple and so doable. And I love it when people have that response, but it also breaks my heart that there's so many snake oil salesmen and lying liars out in the world that have like vultures taken advantage of people and their wishes to be healthy and lean. So I
love how I guess refrained you are in describing other people, because like I've called people out by name on it. I'm like, fuck that guy on the show. And I'm like, oh, lying liar, snake oil. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Oh my gosh. I get pretty coarse.
Well, I don't know. You do have a contract with Disney, so I'm sure you have certain.
Yeah.
Okay. You can say whatever you want now.
I do. Yeah, really fuck those folks. I mean, it's the most
seriously.
thing you could do is screw with people's health, take their hard-earned money and make them piss it away on BS that does not work. It just it frustrates people and it sends them backwards and it has them give up. And that's why people have heart attacks and that's why people have type 2 diabetes and that's why people die. And I'm trying to undo that single-handedly. I'm trying to fix everybody.
Well, it's nice that you wrote a book like that, because I think Matt and I have even joked like, hey, if you want to become a health and wellness influencer, you write a weight loss book and you have the trend du jour, right? Like whatever it is, right? Low cal, high carb, but low carb, and unfortunately, a lot of the things that work they're not flashy. They're not, the next craze.
Yeah. So, it's actually like when you said, oh, you're a fitness influencer. I'm not. Like, I'm a bona fide.
Well, I wasn't accusing you of anything. Right. Yeah. You seem lovely.
Yeah. There are so many. It's the buyer beware industry, right? And so I have a master's in exercise sports sciences. I've been teaching for decades. Everything I say is science-backed. Might have some sass and some spunk and some fun attached to it, but there's no bullshit in my book.
I think what I was reading Tom's comment as was a justification of that, saying like, look, the answer
you're giving people research-based things,
right? And it's easy,
and sometimes that's not as sexy for people. Sometimes that's not a quick quip. I mean, every time somebody's on TV, they give you 30 seconds to get a point out, and you're like, this is not. This is not a bumper sticker kind of statement here,
Well, Tom's got a wellness clinic here, and the joke is he'd be out of business if you just went outside in the winter and jumped in the river and sat outside in the sun.
If you were just a better human, like you wouldn't get sick. Like you wouldn't need me. Why? Because we'd be living more. It's a little like proto-Taoist there, living in harmony with nature.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, I mean, and these principles that came through in Chinese medicine, I mean, when I say they were rooted in Taoism, not as a religion, but it was like, don't eat too much. Don't sleep too much. Move your body, but not too much. It was this very kind of like, just do a little everything.
So one of the reigning themes that run through my book is perfect is boring. It just don't even strive for that. It's unattainable. So cut it out. We're not aiming to be this Olympic anything tomorrow. We're just going to try to get 1% better every freaking day moving forward. Now I do prescribe I call it the exact formula for weight loss. But when I was in grad school and I was 40 something pounds heavier when I was a freshman in college. I was never like obese, but there was too much of me and I knew it. And I'd always been trying to lose weight.
Too much of me.
Yeah, there was too much. And I was teaching fitness multiple times a day. I just had terrible eating habits and I hadn't found the right solution or formula. So at some point I felt like I had kind of maxed out on learning about fitness. It was just, okay, I've hit the wall there. What else can I do to learn? So I was reading physical therapy journals and cardiac journals and medical journals and just trying to learn. And in one of those journals, again, paper journal, it said that on average, humans burn approximately 10 calories per pound of body weight per day. And I froze and I thought, no, it can't be that simple. And then I went back, I read it again. humans burn on average 10 calories per pound of body weight per day. And I thought, okay, well, here's a simple math. If you weigh 150 pounds and you're staying there, we know you're consuming at least 1,500 calories. That's your 150 times 10. Okay, well, if you want to weigh more, you consume more than 1,500 calories a day. If you want to weigh less, you consume less, and you can actually program your body to be 125 pounds. You consume 1,250 calories every day max, and eventually your body will shrink to that size because it has no choice. You're not feeding the beast. And so that is the secret to weight management is you take your goal weight, you put a 0 on the end, and then you stick with it. You don't make any stupid excuses. You don't care if it's Friday night or if you have your period or whatever's going on. You stick with your freaking formula, and eventually your body will respond and you will get down to your goal weight. Now, you could achieve your goal weight by eating a lot of garbage. But I tell you what, if you do that, you'll feel really bad. You'll feel really bad.
I'm only laughing there because we had somebody that offered us an app that was literally a macro calculator only so people could eat junk food.
Like Taco Bell.
It was like, we'll get you to lose weight.
Eating
and you
Taco
can still
Bell.
eat McDonald's.
Yeah. So there's the thing. You can lose weight sticking with your formula, eating garbage, but you're probably not going to get enough nutrition. You're not going to be satisfied.
It's feel good. Yeah.
Now, if you make 80% of your caloric intake super healthy, fruits and veggies, lean proteins, whole grains, you're going to be filled. You're going to have lots of fiber. You're going to have plenty of nourishment. And then you can have a beer or some Cheetos or a chocolate bar, whatever. I mean, it's stick with that formula, make most of it healthy. And then some of it is just your silly food. And that's the formula that I have helped bazillions of people take off gazillions of pounds. I mean, I have guys who've lost 200 pounds using the formula. And the most enjoyable part for me is they say, it's easy. I'm not suffering. And I feel satisfied at the end of the day. I'm not hungry. And so, yeah, weight loss and fitness should not involve suffering. It should feel good, and you should always get better from it, not worse.
And if it doesn't feel natural, it doesn't feel natural. How many things do you do with any degree of regularity that feel unnatural to you? Right? Like none. Like, I mean, you don't want to do that. Your body. So I agree. It's got to be something that's good for you. And I think we joke around, rename the show N of One, because everyone's got to find that thing that works for them. And I think that's the hard part. And when I meet people like you with a quick, I'd never heard that before. Just take your ideal body weight and put a 0. That's like a fucking stupid, simple way of remembering this.
And it's science. I didn't make it up.
Right.
It's just science.
Right. It's just a thing we all could know and don't. Yes, exactly.
Right.
And that education piece has got to be one of your biggest things, right? I got to imagine most of the people you see, the bad comes from just simply not knowing any better.
Right. They don't
know. No, man. I know plenty of people that know better.
Right.
and choose. I mean, I do it.
Right.
I'm human.
I see what you're saying.
Well, here's the difference. So many people are like, I'm motivated or I'm not motivated. I don't fucking care if you're motivated or not. Be disciplined. Get the formula, get something that makes sense, and stick with it. Stick with it no matter what. Because I tell you what, the carrot dangling at the end is spectacular. If you can get to your goal weight, if you can have a strong back without pain, if you can sleep well, holy shit, you're going to be standing up. You're going to be the most charismatic you've ever been. You're going to be more financially successful. People are going to work with you. They're going to work for you. They're going to hire you. They're going to give you the sale. I mean, they're going to want to date you. Everything's going to get better when you're at your best. It's discipline. Who cares if you want to? Do it anyways. I don't know any of us wake up thinking, gosh, I wish I could brush my teeth. I can't wait to brush my teeth. We just freaking do it so they don't fall out of our mouth. And so fitness, come on, do it anyways.
Now, let me ask you something. You seem like you went to school for exercise. So it feels like you've been in this sort of lane for a long, long time, right?
Since I was 14, yes.
Right. Something kick you into that gear, by the way? I'm just curious.
You know what? I was a soccer player, tore my knee. I wasn't actually very good. But I did play soccer, and I had a MCL repair. big surgery, blah, blah, blah.
At 14?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, geez, man. That
awesome.
sucks.
That's fine. You know, it wasn't cancer.
Okay.
So,
yeah. as you drop that you
wasn't
had also
cancer,
had cancer.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't cancer.
Yeah.
It was a mantra before I had cancer. But yeah, so the physical therapist post-surgery told my mom, you need to get her in a gym, keep her exercising, or she'll re-injure the knee. And so I joined Spa Lady. My mom had to lie. She had to say I was 15 so I could get a membership. And I got in there and I started using the weights, which I loved. I started taking classes. I thought the instructors were cool. I was working at Cinnabon at the time, which is the direct opposite of teaching fitness. And
does seem like the antithesis.
Yum, yum, yum.
So good.
But thankfully, my manager was super mean. And so I quit and I applied at the gym and I started teaching and I just fell in love with it. And so
that's cool.
My career has just evolved in so many wonderful ways.
So you were doing that through high school, huh?
I was. And then
that's great that you knew which, like, kind of you had your path. You know, if a lot of people don't find that ever.
Honestly, I didn't believe it was a practical career choice because I thought these gym folks aren't making enough money to buy a house, buy a car, have kids, take them to Disney. And so I really thought I couldn't do fitness as a career. In college, I hosted a TV show. I taught as I was fitness director on a cruise ship. Like I did all this stuff. I started making a living speaking when I was in college. And then I finally realized, I need to do this. And I'm not going to go the traditional route because I don't want to work at a gym and I don't want to sell memberships. I'm going to create my own business. That's where Fitzness was born. I think I was 20 when all the lights went off. I went, Fitzness, and that'll be my brand. And you know, I will make a living connecting with the masses. And I've been able to do that. Thank God.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now I got to ask, where did Fitz come from? Is that a nickname?
No, it's my birth name. Yeah. Fitz.
Wow.
Wow.
I know. What
you're like, I know.
Well,
like,
I thought
almost
I
like
saw
you're
it on the
apologizing.
website. Maybe it was in the Fitzness. And I know why I said Australia before. It's because you had done some things with the largest Australian recording group, and that's the Wiggles. It's not AC/DC. It's not my favorite punk band, Emil and the Sniffers. It's the Wiggles.
Yeah,
I freaking love the Wiggles, and
man, I know their entire best of album. And the original guys.
And and they're so fun.
I'm not anti the new ones.
Right. You know what's funny?
My kids are older now.
I think people think they're weird, like, oh, what weird guy is doing that? I'm like, they're freaking geniuses.
They're fucking billionaires, dude.
And they have all the hot moms chasing after them.
Yeah.
They were half of them were in a rock band, and then they went to university to become preschool teachers, and they had a project.
What?
To make
no, dude, this is all true.
For children, and now they're the biggest things. And so Anthony Wiggle is like one of my close buds, and
he's the blue one.
Pirate. And then Greg and Murray and Jeff, I've worked with all of them, and Emma and
that's amazing.
I mean, they're so lovely. They're really fun guys.
That's very cool. How'd you get connected with them? Like, that's a interesting,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So I ended up going to do interviews with them in Chicago for, I guess just my website to talk about fitness. You know what? Dora the Explorer never stopped singing about chocolate mountains and things like that. And I really love that the Wiggles never sold out. You know, they sang about healthy things as opposed to unhealthy things. And so I reached out to their PR guy and I was like, hey, I'd like to connect with these guys. And they said, sure, come on out to Chicago. And so I was doing a lot of work with various celebrities back then. And man, they were fun. And Anthony was on a big fitness kick at the time, doing lots of pull-ups in his dressing room. So I'd always go down and we'd record these videos of him doing pull-ups. And and he was pretty sexy, I got to say. Anthony Wiggle in the early 2000s, delicious.
Wow. See, my kids were more on the Dora side. So I kind of know more about the backpack than I do.
Swipe or no swiping.
Swiper, yeah. Oh my God. If I can't tell you how many times my kids just chanted that. It's like burned into my brain, which is cool. My kids are older now. I wish.
As long as it's not Caillou, man. That kid was a whiny bitch. I don't know if you like. I'm like, why is this kid bitching about everything? Why is this this is from Canada? They should have better television than we do.
Come on, Canada. That's right.
Yeah. Oh man.
Do better, Canada.
Yeah. So let me ask about like the sort of commercial world of this now, because like we're in a weird spot here. We get to talk to people like not out in the wild per se. Like we get to have these kind of controlled conversations here, but like what's happening in, like you said, you do a lot of keynotes and corporate stuff. I mean, it seems from my vantage point that there's probably like a big awakening even now at the corporate level that says like, hey, the shit really isn't voluntary. Like if we get this in motion, like people do better and better people work better. Like, is that naive?
No, I mean, it hits their bottom dollar. I'm an investment. You spend X amount on me. I assure you, I guarantee your employees, your association members, they're going to quintuple the profit that you spent on me. You know, it's just organizations do their best when their individuals are at their best. You know, tired people, sickly people, they're not producers, right? They don't show up early, they don't stay late, they come in late, they leave early, they call in sick. It's very expensive for an organization to have a bunch of slacker employees that don't care about their health. And so I come in and I kind of grab them and I shake them and I poke them in their chest from the stage and I make it fun. You know, this is very important to me. Nothing's worse when you're sitting in a keynote and everyone's looking at their phone because the guy on the mic is just droning on and on and on. When I get on a microphone or stand on the stage, my first effort is to try to make people laugh, because you know, when everybody starts laughing and someone was looking at their phone and they missed the laugh, all of a sudden they're filled with regret. They're like, oh, what did she say? Yeah. Why is everybody laughing? And so then they put their phone down and we keep the laughs going and people absorb the content more readily when they're having a good time. And if you include everybody in the conversation, it's a lot more meaningful. And so, yeah, I think I'm a really brilliant investment for any organization, and it pays off in spades for years to come because those people take those lessons learned and continue to do better and be better.
Yeah. And have you noticed like the corporate demand, if you will, kind of on a rise, I guess, was where I was kind of curious about, like, are more companies looking to invest in these kinds of ideas?
Is there a more focus on employee health or wellness than there was?
I honestly, I would love to say yes, but I do think that corporations hire speakers they're excited about. So, you know, if they see me and I'm a shiny object and they're like, oh, she looks fun, we got to get her. What is she talking about? Oh, fitness, that'll be good. You know, so sometimes they just want a shiny, happy, fun speaker, and they're willing to take the message that that person is delivering as long as it's kind of relevant to their topic.
I see.
Okay. Thank you for the honesty there.
Yeah, that does it. I'm like,
said, no, everybody loves corporate wellness.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious just because I feel like we also have to like recognize our own bias here. We get to talk to people that are like, oh, I did my 13th ayahuasca trip in Cambodia or something. You know, you're like, okay, what?
Cambodia?
Not Cambodia. That's not what I meant. Yeah. But like they have these things from all over the way. Ivory Coast with the Ibogaine stuff. Like, I mean, you got people going all over the place for all kinds of crazy shit. And that's not normal people stuff. Let's be honest. Like this is like rarefied air. Very few people can afford or even know how to do that, even if they had the money. Right. Like, and so like when you look at regular America, right? I think people still, even at that level, hear enough stories now of people going all to these wacky places that they're like, you know, maybe I could just not eat McDonald's 5 times a week. You know, like, you know, like it's like they don't need to get on an airplane and go somewhere and throw up for 2 days. Like they could just be like, you know what? Let's just do something. And it just feels like more people are taking that kind of action, which I'm just curious, like none of that happens at scale until the employment strata says, you know what, this is actually truly better. We need to like look at it. And I don't know that that's.
I think it certainly helps when an organization gets behind it. They're like, okay, she delivered this message. We're going to help you reinforcement. Sometimes they say, okay, Fitz, before you come, please start sending little messaging videos. Get them excited about our conference, our meeting, your presentation. Make follow-up videos. And then going back to my shiny object comment is that sometimes corporations will hire me. And, you know, the reality is I'm a fitness expert, wellness speaker. but they may want me to speak on other things. So I've had one come out and said, could you speak on community? And I said, yeah, because I always say yes.
Actually,
right?
I can.
And it was one of my favorite presentations I've ever done. It was standing ovation. The guy who hired me, the guys who hired me were like crying in the back when I was done. And so I think really sometimes they want the shiny object, they want the personality, and then they'll say, all right, can you work on
the
this
message is the thing after the persona.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I think one thing that doesn't,
Yeah.
And one thing that I think comes through with you instantaneously is like you're a great sort of communicator, storyteller. You know what I mean? Like, and that certainly is helpful,
people.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's not, and that comes through in your earlier statement. I don't want to work at a gym selling memberships. You probably would have crushed that, by the way. But like, I just,
yeah, I would have because I believed in it. But yeah, you just have to believe in things. And you said the word ding, 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 storytelling.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't want to just be lectured to about numbers and things. They want stories. They want inspiration. And so how do you interweave those things, the compelling content, with stories that are captivating?
Right. And it is funny because like that kind of attention to storytelling really isn't something that has been here in a great way. You know, we've talked about the snake oil and stuff, right? Like a lot of this communication is fucking bullshit, right? And you're like, oh my God, Tom and I wouldn't have a show if everybody was telling the honest truth about everything, right? Like half the shit we talk about is making fun of people that are just outright making shit up. Like you're just like, you're
I gotta tell you, I don't know how to not tell the truth, which may be like one of my Achilles type thing, but you know, sometimes you get yourself into trouble. But I truly feel like it benefits zero people for me to blow sunshine. So I don't, and I let the chips fall where they may.
And the other thing is if you got a science thing going on and, you know, like, and you say, hey, this is science. That's it. I don't know what to tell you. Then it's like, I'm not really here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to tell you it exists. And you can kind of do with that information, whatever you feel like doing with it. Like,
well, you know, plenty of people deny science and it never ends well for them.
Yeah.
You know, like it never, no, you can keep arguing.
Yeah.
This guy, he's a local guy in my community, and boy, I wish him well. But he's the biggest asshole. He's been overweight for 20 years. I've run into him 20 times. He's always like, so what do you think? I need to lose weight. What should I do? And I tell him about the exact formula for weight loss. And the next year he's like, but I found this powder at the nutrition store. I'm like, stop calling it a nutrition store. That's not where you get nutrition. Stop trying to buy stupid
I mean, if he wants a powder that'll make him lose weight, we can get him some cocaine.
You know, also chemotherapy. Rock star. You want to lose weight?
Yeah, right. I've got a rather uncomfortable way to make you lose weight, but it is an option.
It's a little bit more severe than a tapeworm.
Yeah, right.
Sure. I'll strand you at sea for a few weeks. Here's a jug of water. Have that one.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the biggest problem.
That would work.
Right? We got. I
think we could sell that.
Yeah.
All right. We're taking you on as a business partner, Fitz. You buy the wraps.
But like nobody knows like what's bullshit anymore. And that's the other problem. That's the biggest problem is like you could be telling the truth with all this dead to everybody's face, like straight as an arrow. You're like, oh my God, here it is. And like a huge percentage of people are going to be like, this bitch is crazy. Like she's just another hippie for, you know, and like, that's because they read 38 things on TikTok that tell them 39 different things.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, it's infuriating because like when you see somebody just outright just stupid, you're like, come on, how's anybody? And you're like, oh, 38,000 comments. You're like, oh.
Right. Yeah. And you can't fix stupid. I mean, so many people are so desperate to not have to do the right thing that they will vilify you for telling them the truth. They will, no, keto, no, really. Okay. Have you heard of keto crotch? Not cool. I mean, it's unsustainable, you moron, and it has a bunch of really negative consequences to it. Stop. Anything with the word diet attached is effing dumb. Look away, run for your life, and just start paying attention. It's learning how to eat the right amount of the right food for the size you want to be. Not so complicated. You exercise 4 pillars of fitness. It's strength, it's cardio, flexibility, balance. Period. You spend some time dedicated to each. All of a sudden, your body starts performing. better, and then eventually at its best. You can age backwards if you take a simple amount of time and take these simple measures. I mean, oh, it's dizzying. It's frustrating. So here, you'll like this. My book. I always have interns from the University of Florida. That's where I had both my undergraduate and graduate degree. And so I host 3 to 5 every semester. And so before the book was published, I would make my interns read the book, and I would say, tell me what you hate, tell me what's stupid, find an error, whatever.
I hate you're telling me to read a book.
Did they tell you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did they tell you, or were they like, no, it's great, don't kick me out?
I told them, don't blow sunshine. I do not want to release this thing out into the wild and make me look like an idiot. So please, any errors, anything. And so the reigning theme they kept telling me is, it was both. It was like, haha, this was so funny. And they were using the Google Drive with the comments. And then the next, they were like, maybe you could be less harsh.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tone it down.
Maybe you can be not such a bitch here. What's wrong with you? Like,
oh my gosh. And so in some places, I took their suggestion and I did dial it back a little bit. But then I really thought, no, I mean, my greatest connection with people is the feedback I get is, thank you for your brutal honesty. I needed that. And so nobody wants to read a vanilla book. You know, you just don't want to. So the humor is always very funny, or very important. The fact that even someone who's in like middle school could understand it, very important. But then you got to shake people. If you're not going to grab them by the shirt and, you know, give them shaken adult syndrome, you're not going to connect with them, right? So it was very funny with all of my interns, every last one of them.
That's like, hilarious.
Maybe dial it back.
Hold on, I got a follow-up question here, and I would never have thought to ask this of anybody, but like, because honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but this is so perfectly dovetailed here. I couldn't resist. Literally in the last 24 hours, I had a conversation about body shaming. Okay. This is like a thing. And my stance, and here's the part, I don't know how I feel about my opinion of this. Is I feel like I have a commanding difference in my head between body shaming and brutal honesty. Right. So, and I walking up to somebody and saying, hey, fat ass, get out of my way, body shaming, that feels wrong to me on every level.
Right.
Somebody asking me, hey, am I overweight? And I say, well, you know, technically this is morbid obesity, and like, oh my God.
Empirically, yes.
Yeah, and I say, but here's my take on it, right? I say very quickly, I said, listen, that sounds like shit. I get it. I'm not trying to like be upset about this or shame anything, but here's the deal. If somebody else earlier in your life was fucking honest with you, they would have told you before you got to morbid obesity that you were on the fucking wrong path. And maybe you were ready to hear it. Maybe you weren't, but somebody should have fucking said something. And the fact that they didn't and has brought you and I to this juncture means that I'm going to have to be the guy to say, no, look, dude, you're not okay. This is not okay. And I feel like almost guilty for having that opinion, because the overwhelming thing.
But you're also not going to go out and point out that people are fat, well, right? No, even if you were doing it with the same thing. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's loving yourself and then wanting to improve. And there's also this, look, statistically, man, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, right? You start listing all of these things that are going to make your life worse.
Yeah.
You know, and it has nothing to do with you loving your shape, and certainly it's no negative comment on it. It's just, hey, you know, and even they do this. They talk about people that actually do exercise that still have weight, right? They tend to be healthier than clearly people that don't exercise and have more weight. But when you combine the two, that's really the sweet spot where you get better outcomes on everything. So you can't, oh God, I have a cousin that always used to say you can't outrun your fork, but I know he got that from somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, Fitz, you see this every day, then I got to imagine this topic crosses your desk daily.
Very frequently. You know, I mean, I don't ever want anyone to berate themselves. As someone who had an eating disorder, that mentality was not good for me. That was very dangerous, and I don't want anyone to have that. I definitely want doctors, to be honest. I find doctors are real freaking cowardly. When their obese client comes in, they draw the blood and they're like, well, my doctor said my blood work looked good. I'm like, why didn't your doctor look at you in the eye and say, if you don't lose 150 pounds, you're not going to make it to next year. You've got a gun pointed at your head, dude. Like, snap out of it. That's not body shaming. Quite often, I'll have folks that I've guided to lose 100 pounds, 150, massive weight loss. And then when they get down to their ideal size, their family starts saying, we're really concerned about you. You're getting too thin. And I think, where the freak with these people?
Yeah, where did they learn those eating habits is what I would say. Where did they learn that lifestyle? And this is, once again, I'm not attacking because we're going to get some fucking hate comments on this. But
it's a valid question. I want to know how to tackle this topography because it is sensitive.
What? So yeah, why weren't they sharing concern when your weight was spiraling out of control? And then I think here's the difference between body shaming is, you take someone like a singer like Lizzo, who's historically been heavy. I think she's doing the shots. I think she's lost some weight. Good for her. But for a very long time, she was this very, very overweight singer that people were not only loving because she has a beautiful voice and she is gorgeous. But what I saw is some people saying like, oh, I love her body, whatever. She was always like in scantily clad stuff. And then she was all, we love our body. We should all be big girls. Well, that's a bad mentality. And you don't want to, I don't.
Right. You don't want to endorse that either. Right. I mean,
well, Fitz, we also, I got to let you know, Lizzo is one of our biggest fans and we're not going to be able to air this.
You know what I would have hated is for somebody to get on her beautiful, her page where she's singing and whatever and be like, fatso or say anything. Yeah. Body shame. But it's.
Yeah, no, for sure. Fuck that guy.
Is it the relationship? Do you have a role in this person's life? Is there an open conversation where you can say, yeah, I am really concerned. Your weight seems to be kind of spiraling. What can I do to help? I don't think discussing people being overweight is shaming. It's the intention. Are you being mean to yourself, or is somebody using it as a weapon?
Sure.
And if it's all done in good faith, then have it out. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let me see how I can help you. Right.
Yeah, the sensitivity I think comes in when people are like, they've attached sort of like, you're reminding me that there's a problem. You're showing me what the problem is, but that's somehow bound to the quality of me as a human being. Like I'm overweight.
But we do it as humans. We do it with everything. Who's got the bigger salary? Who's more successful? Who's got the better car? Nicer hat? It's just an extrapolation of external validation, I guess. It's no intrinsic value there.
Well, here's the flip side: is skinny also has no value. Skinny, to me, skinny is Holocaust. Skinny was me when I had cancer. Skinny is not a prize. Skinny's kind of, no, thank you. I didn't like being skinny. I like being healthy. So if we're all kind of aiming for, whatever our fighting weight is, it's funny. People ask me all the time, what should I weigh? And you know what? I'm like a circus act or a carnival act. I could tell you what you weigh now and what you probably should weigh, but that's not something I ever do. I think everybody has an idea of what their fighting weight is, the weight where they feel great, they look their best. Maybe they should consult with a doctor. They should definitely not look at one of these stupid charts on the internet.
There's so many things wrong with BMI and
well, I should, just in case this person ever listens to this, the other part of that conversation was the fallacy of the BMI, right? And I said, I think that.
Which one of your fat friends is this, Matt?
Yeah. So
just call them out by name.
Just call them out by name. Yeah. No, but I guess the argument was, and here's where we go back to education. I don't want to make a big thing of this, but the education thing is that BMI is flawed. So that what ends up happening is that there's this assumption that everything about BMI is flawed. And my point was, it's not that it's flawed. It's just, it is flawed, but it's directional, right? So if you have over 30 point BMI, it's not, I don't know if I trust
the math, the calculation is it's not a DEXA scan. It's not a bod pod. Like I had somebody coming to me who was a power lifter, and power lifters, they don't give a shit about abs. They don't, it's not, but clearly this guy was mostly muscle and his BMI was close to 40. And his doctor was like, look, man, I don't think that. And I'm like, this dude could have lifted your car.
Right.
Like, you know, like this is not fat, man.
Right, but you're talking about an edge case, though, right?
But I'm saying, like, you know? no. The average person, there's some truth in there. But when you did it all off of Scottish males,
right? But if a 40% BMI person comes into a door, like
it's not well, but they're probably going to look different
general, right,
than a power lifter. I completely agree with you.
You know, I think there really aren't too many standards that I find valuable. I mean, it's funny, the daily caloric recommendations are either 1,200 or 2,000. What?
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's insanity. If I ate 2,000 calories a day, I would be 200 pounds. If John Cena ate 1,200 calories a day,
he'd be around. Yeah.
Killing people, right? So there is none of that. There's no 64 ounces of water a day. That doesn't make sense. Water intake should match your size and your activity level and the climate you live in. And so there really isn't a one size fits all for anything. And people have to be kind of aware. You know what? Back in, my early 30s, I weighed 173 pounds. And you know what? That felt really good. And I was athletic and I had no pain and I liked the way I looked in my jeans. Maybe I'm going to aim for that. You got to know who you are. And if you've always been so far out of your league when it comes to weight, maybe you were an overweight kid, now you're an overweight adult or an obese adult, okay, just start trimming down. Eventually get to a place where you say, yeah, this feels good. I'd like to stay here.
And I love things that don't happen by tomorrow. For some reason, I feel like they feel more permanent, so if I had something like that, which I'm totally going to start using literally tomorrow because it's stupid easy and I can already do
it.
Like, that's just the easy way to keep it in check.
After he just came off a massive dietary reset.
That was fun. Yeah. But that was for the show though. And it was fun.
I like playing with the stuff too, just to see how it fucks with you. I'll admit that.
But doing a long-term thing feels better. Like it feels more like, okay, I can do an experiment and it doesn't derail me.
The caloric budget thing is sustainable. That's the beauty of it is I haven't told anyone you can't have blank.
You haven't said anything about what you could eat.
No, it's just I teach you how to eat the right amount of the right food for the size you want to be. Nothing drives me more crazy when people are like, I'm doing intermittent fasting. I don't eat until noon and then I stop eating at 6. What the F? Well, fasting is good for you. Okay, superstar. There's a fast built into every human's life. It's called sleep. When we're sleeping, we're not eating. And when we wake up, we break the fast. It's called breakfast. What a moronic suggestion is that you can't eat until 11. What if you're hungry? What if you need to be active? What if you have a headache? Right? Food is fuel. And if you just spread it out throughout your day, whether you're eating at midnight or 3 a.m. or 3 p.m., it doesn't matter to me. It's consistent, regular fuel that keeps your metabolism going and keeps your energy level highs. It's not so complicated.
And I think we should draw a distinction here. And I think this is the thing that I always like to point out too when people are talking is like the people that need those things, like I'm intermittent fasting or whatever, they're generally in some kind of acute situation. They're either on a plan or they're in a diet situation. If you're just keeping to what you're saying, like on a day-to-day basis, then you never get to the point where that shit has to happen.
Well, yeah. And honestly, I mean, I often, the only place I ever back off really is that, okay, if that heart attack and your doctor says you're going on the fine. I stay out of that. I never want to interfere with the doctor. But even if you are 450 pounds, if you choose a caloric budget to weigh 300 pounds, now you're just consuming 3,000 calories a day and you can still do it whenever you want. And you can still have some healthy food and then a little bit of wiggle room, right? So I'm not offering anything that can't fit or accommodate any needs. And even if you're a vegetarian or you eat lots of meat or you love veggies or you hate veggies, the exact formula works for every single person.
Right. Doesn't really matter.
Time.
Yeah. I just watched, what was that? What the Health over the break. I was like, no, it's just a terrible documentary. And where I was going with it is like everybody but you seems to be like trying to sell. This guy was basically hard selling the vegan thing and with shoddy science. And it was not, but I was like sitting there going, it was a wildly popular documentary because there's a bunch of fucking idiots out there that are just like, oh my God, I got to stop eating milk tomorrow now. Like,
well, look, here's the thing. I don't think anybody God, no, I'm going to get myself in trouble, but fuck it.
That's okay.
You know, look, if you're watching that, yeah, now I choose to curb it after 200 and something episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're watching the documentary and you're buying into all that, you're going to get bored of being a vegan in about a fucking week. If you're doing it because it's a moral issue for you, or you know, whatever it is, you're more likely to stick with it. You're also probably more likely to do it right. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking beans to get that amount of protein.
Yeah, so
that's all I'm saying.
I grew up as the most red meat eating person on planet Earth. I mean, I probably had beef 3 times a day. My mother was a great cook, and we also had burger joints, right? I'm a vegetarian because I have friends who are chicken. I have friends who are cows. And so eating meat makes me sad. So I don't do it anymore, but I don't encourage everybody else to do it. I mean, plant-based certainly has incredible benefits to your health, but yeah, I think if you're trying to do some sort of gimmicky thing,
right, you're
going to fail. You're going to fail.
And that's why I was bringing up that shitty documentary.
But that may be any diet, it wasn't a good right?
Thing. Right. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, it's not sustainable because
don't diet ever. And
well, even the root of that word wasn't. It was the sum of the food you consumed. It was not something you did.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I have on my website, fitsness.com, and in this book and in my Fitsness
Look at that. She's a pro. She's already plugging herself. We didn't even get to that yet.
That was literally
we got a couple more minutes before we're wrapping up there, Fitz.
No,
you'll get to drop all your links and everything. I promise.
I'm gonna here I come. But anyway,
I might like it. I don't know.
I never use the word diet with a positive connotation because the diets piss me off so much. When I'm a guest on someone's show and they're like, blah, 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 healthy diet, I just kind of die inside a little bit. I don't go around correcting everybody all the time, but diets are temporary measures that lead to temporary results, you know? So I just...
Oh, that's a good way of thinking about it.
I
never heard that before.
Cranky about diets that they're banished. And I have writers that write for my website. I will tell them, you will not use the word diet in a positive connotation.
Ever.
Find another word. Talk about eating well, nutrition, yada, yada. But it's that important to me that I never, ever give anyone the thought, the mindset, the impression that a diet would be a good idea.
Right. Well, I think that's cool. I'd never heard that before, but that's like a really easy, like soundbitey thing to keep in your head rattling around. You know, like
sustainable.
Yeah. So, you know, you kind of started down there, but I wanted to hear it anyway, too, because I listen, I love what you're doing, man. I love the message. And it's like, I
hate running, but other than that, you're great.
Yeah.
Do something, right?
Just do
I'll
fucking
jump.
anything.
I just don't, I'm not running. I'm going to say something about your mom and get punched in the face. I'm not running away.
I love running. You know, Fitz, today I did my second 2-mile run in a row this week, but those are the first 2 runs I've done in probably 6 months.
Nice.
And I was just basically like, I got to get back to something that makes me happy. And again, it's not that I don't have things that make me happy, but running was something that I miss a lot. And after today, my legs are a little bit sore because it's been, you know, those muscles got to wake up a little bit. Right. But I was kind of like, the universe sending you to us today was like really meant for something. Cause like, it was basically me going like, this consistency thing is the thing that I dropped the ball on, right? Just, I used to do it on automatic. I ran an Ironman once on 6 days notice just because somebody asked me to, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, I wasn't worried about it because I wasn't.
You were prepared. You're fit enough.
Just let's go do it. You know, like, you know, and I couldn't, the thought of running 5 miles right now, I would like not be confident in telling you I could do that right now. You know, like, so. That's a little sad.
She's rolling her eyes at you, Matt.
Yeah,
she's rolling her eyes.
She's like, listen, dude, like, just fucking do it.
I think it's important for everybody listening to know that running is great and walking is great, but it's not the only thing. You could do dancing or swimming or skiing or cross country snowshoeing, or, I mean, there's a million things you can do. And so if you hate running, fine, do something else. Just never use a hatred for running as an excuse to be unfit.
I shouldn't say I hate it. I just
you say it all the time. You hate it.
I don't ever want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I mean, it's a mode of transportation, but there's others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless someone's chasing you with a knife.
Yeah, we can.
I'm probably getting stabbed, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather try and fight back and see how we do.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly fast anyway.
So Fitz, where do we connect people with you? I want to know, do the commercial now. I want to hear all about it.
Now we're going to do it. Okay. So
I want to hear all about it.
Everything for me is Fitzness. That's FITZ as in zebra, NESS. So it's fitzness.com is my home base. Everything there's free articles, free videos, free content. My keynote speaker page is there. If you want to buy my book, if you want to get signed copies of any or all of my books with a free gift, go to fitzness.com. You'll get You Supercharged. And then the Cancer Comeback series, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, etc. All my books are there. And then I'm at Fitzness on Instagram. I have the Fitzness Show podcast, Fitzness on YouTube, and I love connecting on LinkedIn. And here's the deal. If folks follow me, I promise quality content in return. But I would so much rather, and I'm sincere about this, I would much rather have friends than followers. So if you do follow along or connect, say hi. I heard you on the Irreverent Health podcast, so we can be besties and I can harass you personally because nothing pleases me more than harassing extra friends.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. That's awesome. And I love that that's your motivation. And I feel like that kind of comes across in a lot of how you present or communicate, like you're just like, you feel like you're just like, fuck it, I'm just into this, like come, don't come, but if you want to come, I'm here.
I'll be here having a good time with or without you.
Yeah
That's right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Fitz, thanks again for stopping by and
such
talking
a fun
to us. This
way
is really
to come
a lot
back
of fun.
too.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back into 26.
I got to tell you, I'm sad that we're done talking because
but we're going to connect with you on the LinkedIn's and on the Instagrams. And
I actually, right as soon as we're off of this, I'm actually going to talk to you about something else, another past guest, which I'm like,
damn it, you beat me to it. I was thinking it the whole time anyway.
Yeah, we got like, it's fucking awesome.
We've got some connections that we think we need to make.
I only don't want to say it on recording because if anything does come out of it, I want it to be like fucking like totally surprised. But like this could be a thing coming out of this, let me tell you. So I'll just drop that.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, just remember us when you connect with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who the fuck are those guys?
Yeah, who the fuck are those guys? Like, say goodbye already, damn it, so I can hear more. Yeah.
Hang up. I need to find out who this person is.
So,
we're
all right,
consummate
guys, enjoy
fucking
the weekend. I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, later.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.